Hi guys, Kaiser here, and welcome back to Iron Kaiser Gaming. Before we start today's video, I need to take a brief second to doff my cap to the lords and ladies of the Iron Realm, my beloved subscribers. Because we have just recently crossed a really exciting threshold of 750 subscribers. That absolutely blows my mind, and I can't let it go by without taking a moment to thank each and every one of you for joining me on this YouTube adventure by subscribing. It really means a lot to know that you're out there and telling me that you enjoy what I put out and you want to see more through that subscription. So thank you very much. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel, I'd ask you to please consider it. Every view and like and comment and subscription matters and really helps out a lot. Not just because of the algorithm, but it helps me out to know that you're out there and you enjoy the videos and you want to see more. So thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for subscribing. Thanks, guys. With that, let's dive into today's video. And in today's video, this is going to be the ultimate showcase of a skill that is extremely important on the Age of Empires 3 ranked ladder. This is a skill that, if you're good at the game, you've been playing for a while, and you're pretty skilled at Age of Empires 3, you've probably been using this skill for a long time now. It's nothing special. You might even look at this game and go, Kaiser, this really wasn't all that exciting. This is just, the meat and potatoes of AoE 3. But if you're brand new to Age of Empires 3, and there are a lot of players out there who are brand new, the game's recently gone free to play, or if you've recently purchased the game, you're getting into it, maybe you're something of an average ladder player, or, as T90 calls it, a low elo legends in AoE 3, right? If you're one of those players, this might be a skill that you don't use, and you need to start using it. And that skill is to check your opponent's deck. Because you can use your opponent's deck to figure out what their strategy is, what is their game plan, and contour your own approach to deliver a decisive blow and win the game. You're able to mind read what your opponent is planning on doing in the match. So we find ourselves on Korea. I'm in the blue playing as the Dutch, and my opponent in the red, Medicine Man, playing as the Ottomans. Now, if you know anything about Age of Empires 3 and the typical way that you play these civilizations, maybe the stereotypes surrounding these civs, you know that the Dutch are a civilization that are very strong in the late game. It takes a little bit to get the economy going, but with every bank you get up, you're getting this powerful trickle of gold that never runs out, right? Your economy is strong. You can leverage that into powerful late-game armies, mercenary units. The Dutch have a lot of options. They're a fun, exciting civilization to play. And if you know anything about the Ottomans, you know that they are a civilization that can be played in a couple of different ways. But one thing that I typically see on the ladder is rush play from the Ottomans. Ottoman players love to rush, whether that's Janissaries or their new unit, the Azops. They are an extremely powerful civilization with a lot of flexibility and very often are used in this rush style, right? So that's the typical approach, and as I'm playing this game and we hit the 3-minute mark, that's what I'm expecting. I am thinking to myself, this is going to be a match that will play out where the Ottoman, the Turk player, will rush me. And so, in my mind, if we pull up my deck, all right, and by the way, this is not the most optimized deck or build order. I tend to put 3 or even 4 villagers on gold just to keep Dutch villager production going, because Dutch villagers cost gold instead of food. And I queue up with a logistician, and I'm going to talk about why in just a second. So I have a deck here that is built for a late game approach. I want to go into skirmishers and dragoons. That's my thought. But then, in the moments before I click up, and I've got this idea in my head, of a late game strategy with the Dutch, I decided to check my opponent's deck. And you can do this in-game, in the middle of a match, by hitting the little quill button up here and then clicking your opponent's flag. And as long as your opponent has selected a deck, that deck will pop up for you and you can see what he's got. And when I pull up Medicine Man's deck, I notice something. Now, reading a deck will take time. This is a skill that takes experience, and you're constantly growing in your ability to read an opponent's deck. But when I looked at my opponent's deck, I noticed something interesting. He only has one military shipment, and those are the Delhi cards. And you can see here the Delhi are the Ottoman version of the Hussar. They move a little bit faster, they have better attack, and they cost less food, but they have less HP. And that's interesting. I believe it's attack speed, it should say. They have better attack speed, but less attack strength, and they cost more coin, right? So Delhi's, and by the way, that's my mod, the Better Unit Descriptions mod, which you can find in the mod browser. It's a very cool mod. I encourage you to check it out. But, looking at my opponent's deck, I notice he is missing the Janissary card. If you're going to play a rush game, almost inevitably, you want that, I think it's seven Janissaries card in your deck to aggressively hit your opponent quickly. And without that card, there's no way that Medicine Man is going for some kind of rush approach. And I see here, I'm noticing as we play, okay, he's put down 2 trade posts. He's playing a very greedy game. He wants to go heavy into economy. He wants to rush up to the 3rd age as quickly as possible and leverage late game Ottoman strengths. And that means there's a moment of vulnerability, and that's why I chose the Logistician. It sends a barracks, and you unlock the Veteran Halberdier for free. So here, I'm shipping my Pikeman card. Why am I doing that? Well, for 2 reasons. One, if you're an Age of Empires 2 fan, you know this. Pikemen are really good against cavalry. So, the only unit my opponent can ship from his home city is cavalry. Pikemen will absolutely shred that. But something you might not be familiar with if you're an Age of Empires 2 fan is that pikemen in AoE 3 are actually very good at destroying buildings. As you can see here in the tooltip that I've got. Good against heavy cav, light cav, and buildings. They have a very high siege attack. And here we have Halberdier upgraded to the veteran level thanks to my pick of the Logistician. It cost a little bit more food to get veteran Halberdier in the Age 2, but you're getting a Tier 3, an Age 3 unit available in the 2nd Age, which again is just overall stronger than the pikeman. It is a little bit slower, it's a little bit more expensive, but you're getting a better all-around unit, which has even more siege attack strength. So we're going in with an anti-cavalry, anti-building unit, and if he does not have anything in response, this will be devastating, right? And if we take a look at what Medicine Man has here, he's shipping resources, and I noticed that too when I was reading his deck. He doesn't have units, he's going all in on resources. He probably wants to go up to the 3rd Age as quickly as possible. And sure enough, he actually is going up to the Marksman in Age 3. Marksman will, I believe, send Abus Gunners, if I'm not mistaken. So he's getting Skirmishers out. Calling up the Bashi Bozuk, which is the Ottoman unique Minuteman. And I'm splitting my army here. A couple of the Minutemen are using their powerful melee attack. My opponent is not kiting here, letting the Halberdier get into melee range. And they're doing a great job wiping out these units who really aren't designed to deal with Halberdier like this. The Azop here is just a pikeman with a crossbow. It's heavy infantry just like the Halberdier is, and the Halberdier is an age better. This is an Age 3 unit here in Age 2. They're not going to stop this. He almost hits the 3rd Age, but no. The town center goes down, and now he's stuck with no economy, and it's game over. This is a really simple game. It was not a very fast, or not a very long one, not a lot of strategies involved, but it's a skill that I notice in myself. I don't do this as often as I should. And my guess is, if you're like me, you're going online onto the ranked ladder, playing against opponents, and you're probably not doing this enough either. So something I wanted to highlight as a must-have if you want to jump onto the Age of Empires 3 ranked ladder and try out your hand against other human players, This is a skill to keep in mind and to develop. You won't be a master at it right away, but it's worth practicing and seeing those opportunities to read a deck and figure out, okay, what are the strengths and what are the weaknesses in your opponent's decks or in your own decks. Guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks so much for watching. This is just a fun, simple one. If you liked it, give it a like. Thank you so much. Consider subscribing to the channel. I appreciate you guys, each and every one of you. Have a great one. God bless out there. For now, this is the Iron Kaiser, signing off.